opens the door, and there she stands. Huh? How'd you like that one, Ray? Well, here's to you, Ray. Ah, you're a great girl, Ray. Funny kid, Ray. You give a fella all the rope in the world and...
Yeah, and the first thing he does is hang himself with it.
Ah, come on, Ray. Be a sweet kid, will you? Let you and me have a little fun. Huh? What do you say?
Well.
Gee, that's great. Tell you what we'll do. I know a little hotel down the road here.
Come on, let's
Just
dance.
a few months.
Hello there, Ray.
Hello yourself.
How's about you?
Well, what are you doing holding her on?
Just came over to get a little peek at you.
Who is she?
Ray Schmidt. Toniest girl in Cincinnati.
I'll say she is. What do you say, Ray?
Listen. I knew who Santa Claus was a long time before I met you, and that was 5 years ago.
Think you're pretty smart, don't you?
I don't have to be smart to handle you traveling salesman. I'm 2 laps ahead of you all the time.
Yeah? All right. Get this. Hey, Ray, what's the matter? I was only fooling.
So was I. Let's stop fooling. But Mama, if
I said no. You're not going out nights with any young man unless you have a chaperone. Over the Rhine is no place for any nice young girl.
Would you let Ray go?
Well, Ray Schmidt is not my daughter. She's only my stepdaughter. So, of course, I have no jurisdiction over her.
That's a big word, Laemmle.
It's a good word, even if it is big. And I say it again, if Ray Schmidt were my daughter, she wouldn't be running the streets at night like some flibbity-gibbet.
Why shouldn't she? She works hard in the store. When night comes...
When night comes, she'd be better off at home with her family, instead of chasing with drummers like a fly up the creek. But girls of today have no joy in the simple pleasures of home. This younger generation is going to the dogs.
Ever since I can remember, the younger generation has been going to the dogs, yet somehow it always manages to come out on top. I guess it will be always like that.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, hello, Kate.
Say, is Ray home?
Not yet. She went over the Rhine.
Still wasting your time with that crazy contraption?
Well, what's crazy about it?
My dear Kurt, I thought you were an intelligent boy. Automobiles. 5 years from now, there won't be a sign of one.
Oh, is that so? Well, there's a fellow out in Detroit who's manufacturing them by the dozen.
What's his name?
Henry Ford.
Never heard of him.
Oh, just the same, he's on his way to make $500,000.
$500,000? You ever hear of anything so funny?
Believe me, if I could buy any one of those concerns, I'd do it, even if I had to sell my bicycle shop.
Well, you better hold on to your shop and put your money into horses. Automobiles. The dirty, smelly things.
Well, if it comes to that, a horse isn't any pot of hyacinths.
I'll ask you, Kurt Shendler, not to be obscene.
Night, Bob.
Good night.
Here comes Ray now. Hello, folks. Hello, Pop.
Hello, dear.
Hello, Kurt.
Hello, Ray.
Been over the Rhine? Yeah. Been awful hot, hasn't it?
Awful, dear.
Well, Ray, I've been waiting for you.
Yeah, what for?
Well, I just thought maybe... Well, I wondered if you'd mind coming over to the bicycle shop tomorrow and helping me with my books.
No, of course not. I'd love to.
Well, they're in an awful mess.
They always are. I read in the paper yesterday that a girl from South Bend, Indiana went up to a bicycle repair shop that a fella kept over a feed store, and she was found dead 2 weeks later with her head off in a gunny sack.
Freda? Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm going to bed. Come along, Freda.
Oh, shucks, Mom. Do I have to go to bed so early? Say, Mama, Katie Schweibacher says you can make a man marry you if you...
Now, you come in the house. You march yourself upstairs, there, young lady. I know all the nonsense I'm going to have about this. All right, upstairs.
I guess I better be going home myself. But there's nothing like a good night's rest to put you on top of the world.
That's right.
Good night.
Good night.
Ray, I'll see you tomorrow.
Surest thing you know.
Well, good night.
Good night.
Fine boy, Kurt.
Mm-hmm. So are you.
Me? Fine boy.
Yes, you bet your life.
Not anymore, Liebchen. I'm beginning to creak.
Oh, Pop. Don't talk like that. Say, you're the youngest boy I know.
Ah, Ray. I wouldn't fiddle around waiting for something better than Kurt, when it's just like life to hand you something worse. Kurt is a fine, steady boy. He won't never surprise you, maybe, but don't you care. The trouble with most marriages is that they got too many surprises.
Ray, come here and listen to a power. Isn't she a peach? Say, isn't she a humdinger? I can finish her as soon as I get that part that's coming in the 5:10 tomorrow. Oh, Ray, will you write down when I get it?
Sure, when we get through with the book.
Oh, gee, Ray, you're a peach to help me with those books every Sunday.
Think of the risk I'm running having my head cut off with a salt battery. What happened?
I just turned the switch off.
Oh.
Ray, have you any confidence in me?
Well, of course, Kurt. You're going to be a big man one of these days. Don't I know it?
Oh, gee, it's great to have you say that because I... Oh, look here, Ray. Will you marry me? Well, I don't see anything so all-fired funny about it.
Oh, I wasn't laughing at you, Kurt. I was just thinking. Believe it or not, you're the first man who ever asked me to marry him.
I guess I'm the only fellow that ever had enough nerve.
Lots of them have had the nerve, all right. Most of them think they can have me without marrying me.
Well, a lot they know. Just because a girl's a good sport. I'd like to see anyone try to get fresh with you. Ray. Ray, it isn't true, is it?
What, Kurt?
That they could have you without... Ah, shucks, I knew that much myself.
Guess Pop's gone upstairs.
Ray. Ray, you haven't answered my question.
What question, Kurt?
Will you marry me?
Oh, Kurt. I think you're swell.
But you don't love me.
Well, not that way. It'd be horrible to marry you and then find out someday that I cared for somebody else. You see, I know myself so well. It's all the way or zero with me. And heaven help the man I do fall in love with.
Well, until you find him, I won't take no for an answer. I'll just keep on asking.
Well, gee, that's fair enough.
Hello there, Ray.
Well, hi.
Well, how do you do?
Well, you know Kurt Shendler, don't you?
Hello, how are you? Pardon my glove.
Oh, Ray, will you stay here a few moments? I'm going over to the baggage room.
Sure, Kurt.
So long.
Well, you taking this train?
Yes, worse luck. Haven't seen much of you this trip, Ray.
Well, who's to blame for that, I'd like to know. Fine way you treat a girl. I learned to love you, then you leave me to eat my heart out alone.
Now stop. Say, Ray, I'm taking that train to Detroit. What about coming along with me?
Oh, I'd love to, but I can't.
Well, why not?
I forgot my toothbrush.
Oh, the same old story. You know, Ray, you'll never change. Oh, Ray, you know, really, I think you're a fraud. But you can bet the next time I come back to Cincinnati, you're not going to slip out of my fingers that easy.
We'll see.
Hello, Walter.
Why, Bakeless, how are you?
Hi.
What are you doing around these parts?
Oh, same old story, you know. Here today and going tomorrow. How's the banking business?
Sounds enough. How's the lingerie business?
Thriving, my boy, thriving. Well, goodbye, Walter.
Bye.
Goodbye. Oh, Walter. I want you to meet a tony little friend of mine, Ray Schmidt.
How do you do?
Well, what are you thinking?
Shall I tell you?
You might as well, sooner or later.
Well, I was thinking that this is the most perfect day I've ever known.
Why, you're crazy. It's hot and sultry, and it's been threatening rain all day.
You're crazy yourself. The sky is clear as crystal. The air's like wine. God's in his heaven, you're on earth.
Say, you'll have me blushing in a minute.
You're blushing now, and it's most becoming. Keep it up. Shall we be going? I don't think I caught your name.
Does it matter?
Not a darn bit. May I give you a lift?
No, thanks. I have a lift.
You seem to have everything.
There's your cab.
I'm in no hurry. When do we meet again?
When?
Tonight at 10. White Farm is 11th and Adams.
Sorry, I have a date.
Break it. Hello yourself.
You don't seem the least bit surprised to see me.
I'm not.
Oh, I like that. You're not very sure of yourself, are you?
So-so. My theory is if you want to think badly enough, it's bound to come true.
Oh,
Shall we walk?
suits me.
What's your name?
Ray,
Gee, I'm glad.
you're glad? Why?
Because I think a name should always suit the person, and yours is perfect. Ray. Ray of sunshine. Ray of delight. Ray of my heart. Tell me about yourself. What do you do?
I work in my father's store, trimmings and dress goods.
How well do you know that fellow that introduced us?
Oh, Bakeless? Oh, he's just another traveling salesman. Now it's your turn.
Wait, let's take a deep breath. Now,
What's your name?
Walter Saxel.
Oh, yours is nice, too. Where do you live?
Hamilton, I'm over here visiting the Trowers.
Oh,
You know them?
yes, I know Corinne Trower. Blonde with big blue eyes. How well do you know her?
Oh, fair to middling. I'm engaged to her.
Oh, just my luck. If ever I do meet a fellow who's really nice, he's sure to be engaged or something.
Do you really feel that way about me?
It's raining.
I guess you're right. Let's get in there.
Well, hello, Walter.
How do you do?
Walter.
How do you do? Glad to see you.
When did you get in town?
I just got here this morning.
How's Mother?
She's fine, thank you. She'll be here tomorrow.
And Corinne?
She's well, too, thank you.
I suppose she's all excited about the wedding.
Why, say, it's a week from next Thursday.
Yes, a week from next Thursday.
Were you waiting for Corinne now?
No, as a matter of fact, I was waiting for a cab. I'm very happy to see you.
Awfully glad we
Good night.
saw you.
Very happy to see you. Goodbye.
Well, say hello to Corinne for me, will
I
you?
will, thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
What are you doing, playing hide and seek?
Oh, you sort fool. No, I was just trying to dodge a couple of friends of mine.
Who?
I don't think you know them.
Been waiting long?
Have I been waiting long?
Honestly, have you?
No. Just this minute got you.
I'm awfully sorry.
Oh, Cabby. Yes, sir. Where shall we go?
I don't care, you say.
Over the Rhine?
All right.
Over the Rhine. Yes. What are you thinking?
Oh, I shouldn't have come tonight.
Are you sorry?
No.
Then why did you say what you did?
Is your wedding to be here or at Hamilton?
Must we talk about that tonight?
I'm sorry.
Now, don't misunderstand me, Ray. Corinne's a fine girl. She's far too good for me. We grew up together. Been engaged 2 years. My mother's heart is set on the marriage.
Walter, I don't think we ought to see each other anymore after tonight.
As a matter of fact, Ray, we were mad to go on seeing each other at all. You're adorable, Ray. When I hold you in my arms like this, nothing else seems to matter. You're like a drug to me. I feel as if I could chuck the whole thing. Let's get out of here. I never knew anyone like you before. Why couldn't I have known you years ago? Before I... I wish Mother knew you. Look here, Ray. My mother will be here tomorrow. I'm going to take you to the park. You happen along sort of accidentally, just as though we hadn't planned it. You understand?
Yes, Walter.
There'll be a band concert at 3 o'clock. Mother wants to hear it. We'll take a seat directly in front of the bandstand. You will come, won't you?
Yes, Walter. I'll be there. quite a crowd.
Yes, it is, Mother.
Let's see here.
Head she'll like me, tail she won't. Oh, hello. It's home from church? Ray, I've got to talk to you.
Save it until a little later, will you, honey? I'm in a terrible hurry.
What'd you lock the door for?
Ray, I've got to talk to you now.
About what?
Hugo's leaving town.
Well, what of it?
Oh, Ray, we've got to stop him. He's got to stay here and...
Freda.
Oh, don't, Ray. If Mama were to find out anything, she'd... Oh, Ray, you've got to do something.
All right. I'll talk to him tonight.
Tonight'll be too late. I saw him on the way home from church, and he's leaving this afternoon on the 3:20 train. Oh, Ray.
But, Freda, I've got an important engagement.
Yes, a date. About as important as that.
Listen, Freda. Nothing in the world has ever been so important as my being in front of that bandstand at 3 o'clock. Pray for me. Wish me luck. Come on, get away from that door.
Ray, if you don't go with me now to stop Hugo, I'll kill myself.
Freda.
I mean it, Ray. I couldn't go on living if I'll kill myself. Freda! Oh, you little fool. Oh, Ray, don't desert me. You're the only one I've got to turn to.
No. No, I won't desert you. You can count on Ray. Come on. Come on. We'll see him right away. Here. Dry your eyes. Don't let your mother see you crying.
Ja, das war wenigstens mal ein Konzert.
You can pass some people without speaking to them, but not me.
Why, Walter Saxel.
Right you are. You can step to the head of the class, Miss Schmidt.
The same old Walter.
Then you don't think I've changed these 5 years? It has been 5 years since you stood me up in Eden Park.
Why, I didn't stand you up in Eden Park.
You did.
I did not.
You did, too.
I did not.
Oh, you certainly did.
I didn't. I beg your pardon.
They seem to be obstructing traffic. Now, let's see. Where were we? Oh, yes. Eden Park in front of the bandstand. That is, I was there, but you weren't.
I was. I got there a little late.
A little late? Well, then I stayed until the concert was over.
Well, I got there just as the crowd was breaking up.
I was furious.
Yes, I gathered that from the note you wrote me.
Was it harsh?
Terribly.
I'm sorry.
I said then I'd never forgive you.
But you will, won't you?
Yes.
The same Ray Schmidt, aren't you? Nice as ever, and if anything, a little younger.
Oh.
I mean it. And you still know how to wear clothes.
Oh, well, thanks. What have you been doing with yourself, Walter?
Oh, lots of things. I'm in line for junior partnership, Friedlander Kuntz Bankers.
Oh, splendid.
And I've given birth to 2 children.
Well, aren't you clever?
And you, what have you been doing?
Well, I'm not exactly in line for junior partnership, but I am about the highest paid woman in my firm.
Swell. Look here, Ray, we're going to be snowbound if we don't get out of here. Let's have dinner together.
Well, I have an engagement.
Break it. I'll call my wife and meet you here in 10 minutes. We'll have dinner at Reisenweber's. What do you say?
All right.
Shall we go? You're lovely as ever, aren't you?
Thank you.
Know many people in New York?
Loads.
Anyone in particular?
No one.
Thank you.
Walter, I'm awfully sorry I can't ask you out.
Oh.
But, gentlemen and dogs are not allowed.
I see.
I have a landlady with all the instincts of a bloodhound.
Well, I suppose this is good night.
Oh, it's been nice seeing you again, Walter.
Has it? I wonder.
Walter.
I wonder if it wouldn't have been better if we'd never seen each other again.
Oh, Walter.
Hooray. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Please forgive me. Your memory has followed me day and night like a shadow. I finally tore you out of my mind. And now you've come back to torture me.
Oh, Walter, darling. What can I say? What can I do?
Ray, you still care for me, don't you?
Don't you know?
When shall I see you?
Whenever you say.
I'll call you. I'm going out of town tomorrow for a couple of days. I'll call you on Saturday.
All right. You can get me at Liberty 3270. Can you remember the number?
I'll never forget it. Goodbye, sweetheart.
Goodbye, Walter. You better turn up your collar. Don't
Thank
take
you,
cold.
darling. Be careful. Bye.
Never mind, Walter. I I late?
No, dear. Shall we go in? For you, Ray.
For me?
We couldn't go on meeting on street corners and hiding in doorways. You don't mind, do you?
No, Walter. I don't mind. Hello. Operator, will you call this line, please? I think it's out of order. Thank you. Hello. No, it's all right. Thank you.
What I really enjoy after dinner is my pipe. Besides, I want to talk to you.
Good.
That was an excellent dinner. Irene is a perfect hostess, and you've done the house over charming.
Thanks to you.
Huh?
Well, didn't you pay for it?
Well, Corinne has always been my favorite niece. And anyway, you've earned it. And that brings me to the point. You're leaving for Europe day after tomorrow.
Uncle Felix.
Those Dalmatian negotiations.
But I thought you were.
I was, but I've changed my mind. We need a younger man on the job. I'm counting on you, Walter.
It'll be marvelous. A great opportunity. Well, I could do with a little vacation.
I would suggest you're taking Corinne along.
But, Uncle Felix... Glad to see me.
Of course I am. I didn't dream.
I shouldn't be here at all, but I managed to slip away for a few seconds. I had to see you, Ray.
Oh, I'm so glad you did.
Missed me?
Oh, you'll never know how much it's been terrible.
Oh, silly, it's only been 3 days.
Only 3 days. That hasn't meant much to you. You've been so busy every waking moment. But how about me? Listening for the telephone, straining to hear your key in the lock, waiting and waiting. Oh, Walt, it's been awful.
I'm terribly sorry, really.
Doesn't matter now. Come on now, tell me.
Tell you what?
The big news?
Why, I never said anything.
You've been saying nothing else ever since you came in. Never lie to me, darling, not even a tiny little fib. You tell me everything without a word. The way you open the door, the way you walk across the room. That excited little boy look in your eyes. I'm excited too. What is it?
Well, it is exciting. You remember those Dalmatian negotiations we were discussing?
Yes.
Well, Uncle Felix has decided not to go himself, to send me in his place.
Walter.
We leave day after tomorrow.
The day after tomorrow? Europe? Why, I can't believe it.
What?
Europe. It's something I never even dared dream about. Just to be there would be wonderful. But to make my first trip with you... Oh, Walter...
Ray, I'm afraid you don't understand. Darling, I can't ask you to go.
Oh.
Oh, don't think it's because I don't want you. I'm as heartsick about it as you are. It's Uncle Felix that sort of frightened me tonight. He's like a sphinx, that man. You're never sure how much he knows or just what they're... He talked a lot about appearances and said that I should take Corinne along.
Of moving, but it's really worse for you than anyone else. My, it shuts out all the light and air, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. That is a shame. Oh, why don't you move?
Oh, well, I can't just now.
Oh, of course not until your husband returns. He's been gone a long time, hasn't he?
Yes.
Expecting him soon?
Well, his business is very uncertain. It's hard to tell.
Oh, I see. My, what is that, a tree? Oh, no, it's flowers, isn't it? Oh, it's awful pretty. Oh, gracious me, I clean forgot what I came over for. Could I have the lend of a couple of lemons?
Oh, yes, of course.
You know, Mr. Dole will be home in a minute, and he just loves his lemonade, he does. And I forgot to go down to the... Oh, dear. Is this your husband?
Why, yes.
My, but he's good looking. Oh, dear, and he's so dark.
Here are your lemons.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, well, I'll return these tomorrow.
There's no hurry.
There it goes again. Really, it's worse on this side than it is at mine.
What's happened?
Help! Oh, help! Fire! Oh, somebody do something! Quick! Oh, my eyes are burning!
Someone do something!
Why don't you let me call your husband?
No, you mustn't phone him.
All right. I won't.
I'm causing you an awful lot of trouble.
Ah, now don't you worry about that.
You've been awfully kind. Who are you? What's your name?
Ray Schmidt. I'm your neighbor.
Oh. What did the doctor say? Will I be disfigured?
No, of course not.
I wonder what Jim will say.
Why won't you let me call him?
No, you mustn't. He told me not to.
But in a case like this, dear...
You don't understand. He isn't really my husband. He's married.
Ray Schmidt.
Why, Kurt Shendler.
Well, I knew I had the right house and street number, but I didn't think I'd find you waiting on the doorstep for me. Oh, gosh, Ray, you're a sight for sore eyes.
Oh, wait till I get my breath. Where in the world did you come from?
Detroit.
I never in the world would have known you. My, you look well. And so prosperous, too. What have you been doing?
What have I been? Well, don't you know?
Know what?
Well, look, do you see that? That's a Kurt Sussex.
Well, I know that. Everybody does.
Well, I'm the Kurt part.
You?
I certainly am.
Why, Kurt, I can't believe it. What are you doing here?
Well, I'm here on business. You know, this is my first time in New York, and I want to see the town while I'm here. So you're elected to show me the sights. Is it a go?
Sure thing you know, Kurt.
Well, let's start right now and go someplace where it's cool. This heat's awful.
Oh, this is glorious up here, isn't it? It's a real treat for me.
Well, what are you going to have to eat?
You know, Kurt, I can't get over it. What have you done to yourself?
Well, let me see. Oh, you remember how my hair used to stick up like that?
Uh-huh.
Well, I've got it plastered down. I've got some new glasses. I've exchanged my overalls for a suit of clothes. But outside of that, I'm still the same Kurt Shendler you knew in Cincinnati.
How'd you get my address?
I wrote Freda, and she tells me you're still in the wholesale trimming business.
Oh, yes, I am. I'm on a vacation now, though.
Well, that's great, because I've got a list of things for us to do as tall as a Flatiron building.
Francine?
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
What are you doing?
Oh, nothing.
Come on over.
All right.
Hello? Oh, hello, Kurt. Yeah. No, I haven't. Sure, I'd love to. Wait a minute. Come in. I'll be with you in a minute. Yes, Kurt. What? All right. About 7? Sure, I'll be ready. Bye. Have a good time this afternoon?
Oh, grand. Detroit beat the Yankees, and you should have heard Kurt yell.
He's an awfully nice fellow.
Oh, Kurt's swell.
Have you been crying again?
Oh, Ray, I can't help it. I think I'll go crazy if I don't hear from Jim.
Oh, Francine, I wish you'd stop. He's not worth it. I wonder if any man is.
Oh, I know it's pretty tough on you right now, but you're so well out of it. You're free now, free to come and go and do as you like.
But, Ray, I love him.
What about him? I suppose he loves you too, huh?
He did a lot, and that's all I ever wanted from him, Ray. I'd have starved for him, worked for him, anything. All I wanted was his love.
Well, that's all you've got. All you ever get. You don't get that for long. Francine, what can a man like that do for you? Can he take you out any place? Can he be seen with you in public, introduce you to his friends? All he can do is tuck you away someplace in a side street and let you wait. Wait for the telephone to ring. Wait for unsigned postal cards and typewritten letters.
Well, if I could only hate him, if I could only stop loving him.
You will. Look, Francine, take my advice. Get out of it before it's too late. Find some nice boy, marry him, settle down, have kiddies. That's the only way to be happy. I know what I'm talking about. There isn't one woman in a million who's ever found happiness in the back streets of any man's life.
Hello, Ray.
Walter. Oh, darling. Oh,
Oh, Walter, I want you to meet a little friend of mine, Francine. Francine, this is Walter. How do you do, Mr. Schmidt?
How do you do?
I've heard quite a lot about you. Well, Ray, I'll run along. All right, honey. Then I'll see you soon. Sure. Good night, dear.
I'll call over after.
Well, good night.
Oh, Walter. Oh, my darling. When'd you get in? I didn't know there was a boat docking today. When'd you get in?
Day before yesterday.
The day before yesterday? Walter, you've been in town 2 whole days?
But, Ray, I've been so busy. You haven't any idea.
Oh, I have, Walter, but couldn't you telephone me or something?
Darling, I've thought about it a dozen times, but I just simply couldn't get around to it. Please forgive me.
Of course.
What sort of a summer did you have? You look a little tired, dear.
Oh, I'll be all right as soon as it gets cooler. The heat's been terrible.
That's what everyone wrote me. Uncle Felix said it was the hottest summer in 30 years.
Hmm.
Should have been with me in Europe. Hardly a day when a coat wasn't comfortable. And Switzerland.
Switzerland? Oh, I didn't know you were going to Switzerland.
Didn't I write you?
Darling, I had 3 postcards from you all summer.
Now, Ray, I know I wrote you oftener than that. Some of them must have gone astray.
Well, that's possible.
Well, anyhow, when the negotiations were over, I said, oh, why not see some of Europe while you're here? So for 4 weeks we toured France, Switzerland, Italy. Oh, it was heavenly.
4 weeks. And when you left here, you could hardly wait for the next boat to bring you back to me. 4 weeks.
Oh, great Scott, Ray, why shouldn't I? It was my first trip to Europe, and look here, you haven't told me one thing about your summer except it was hot.
Well, there isn't much to tell, Walter. You ought to know what my days are like. Playing solitaire, making over an old dress now and then, going to market. Well, I took up china painting this summer. It gave me something to do. And I was able to sell a few pieces now and then.
Sell? Ray, I don't like you doing things like that. Why?
Well, for no particular reason, Walter. Except that a woman likes to have a few coins in her purse once in a while.
Ray. I clean forgot to make any provision for you those last 4 weeks in Europe. I'll fix it up with you tomorrow. I hope you weren't inconvenienced.
Not at all, darling. I managed beautifully.
Gee, I'm sorry.
Well, I don't want you to feel sorry, Walter. I wasn't making a bid for sympathy. I don't feel the least bit sorry for myself. I'd go through the past summer time and again for you if it were necessary. But there's something we've got to have out with each other. It's been fiendish at times, Walter. I gave up my job so I could be free when you were here. Well, that was all right. But what have I got? Solitaire. Waiting for the telephone to ring. Waiting for you to come. Dying when you don't. I can't meet your friends. Can't make any of my own. You don't know how empty my life is.
Ray, darling, empty? When you have me?
That's just the point, darling. I don't always have you. I didn't have you this summer. You're going to be a busier man as the days go by. There'll be other trips where Ray can't go along. I can't go on, Walter, waiting, hoping, empty-handed. Walter, give me a child.
Ray, are you mad? I can't imagine you even suggesting such a thing. Aside from the moral issue involved, have you thought of the consequences? No, of course you haven't. Well, it would spell ruination, at least for me. Think of the possible scandal, what it might do to my future. Well, it's unthinkable. After all, Ray, you're not my wife. Oh, Ray. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
It's all right, Walter.
You're just tired and nervous. You're not yourself, otherwise you'd never suggest such a thing. You couldn't even think of it.
Yes, you're right. I am tired.
Ray, I must be going, dear. I wish I could stay on, but you know how it is. I'm so sorry, sweet. Please forgive me.
Of course, Walter.
I'll see you tomorrow, dear. Good night, dear.
Good night, Walter.
Come in.
Ray, I'm sorry I kept you waiting, but just as I was leaving the hotel, I got a long-distance telephone call. Ray, I've got to go back.
To Detroit?
Tonight.
I'm sorry.
Isn't that the limit, though? After all the things we'd planned to do? It's been the swellest time I ever had. Ever hoped to have. But there's a big business deal on, and I've just got to go back. I'd like to chuck the whole thing, though, and just be with you. Ray, what's the matter?
Oh, it's nothing. I'm just not myself this evening, that's all. It's been nice having you here. I'm heartbroken you're leaving like this. I'll miss you, Kurt.
Oh, gee, it's great to have you say that because well, leaving like this all of a sudden gives me courage to ask you something. Something I've asked you before. Something I'll keep on asking you if I can keep my health. Oh, I don't blame you for turning me down before. I was an awful greenhorn then, and as poor as a church mouse.
But that didn't...
Oh, let me finish, will you? Gee, just when I get going strong, you have to go and butt in. Have a heart. Well, anyway, I'm rich now, or thereabouts. And I'm still goofy about you. Will you, Ray?
You're fine, Kurt.
Yes, I know all about that. But that doesn't answer my question. Will you, Ray?
Kurt, do you know what I am?
Ray Schmidt, the swellest girl a fella ever knew. Of course, if you're not free.
I am. I wasn't, Kurt. But I am now. There's that bell again.
I beg your pardon. Does Mrs. Hugo Hank live here?
She does, but if you're a salesman, you might just as well...
Madam, I'm not selling anything. I'm looking for Miss Ray Schmidt.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Won't you come in? Oh, I didn't mean to be so rude, but you know, 10 times a day I have to stop my work and go to that door, and 9 times out of 10, well, you know how it is. Do come into the living room, won't you? Ray ought to be back any minute now. She just went downtown to do some shopping.
Mommy, who's the man?
Why, Hugo, is that nice manners? Now, these are my children, Mr. I don't believe I caught the name.
Walter Saxel.
Oh, yes, Mr. Sax. Well, this is little Hugo and my little girl, Ray.
Hello, Ray.
Hello.
You're an awfully nice little girl.
You bet.
How is Ray?
Oh, she's just fine. She just came down to visit us. She's going to be married soon to Kurt Shendler from Cincinnati, a perfectly splendid chap. Would you believe it? He used to be a laughingstock just because he believed in the future of the auto. In fact, I was one of the few people who ever encouraged him.
Ray, I'll pick you up at 6:30.
All right, sir.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Hello, Ray.
Hello.
I found your note in the apartment. You didn't mean it when you said this was the end. I've missed you, Ray.
I've missed you, too.
If you wanted to make me suffer, you've succeeded. It's been terrible. I never knew I could need any human being as I've needed you. I have no right to ask anything of you, Ray. I'm a cad, if you like. I can't offer you any of the things you're about to enjoy. Home, respectability, children. I only know one thing. I need you. I love you. Come back to me, Ray. You're trying to run away from something, Ray, and you can't. We belong to each other.
But, Walter... If I do go back, where will it all end?
I love you, Ray.
How do you do, Captain? How do you do, Mr. Saxel? Glad to have you with us. It's a pleasure indeed.
By the way, you remember Mrs. Saxel? My son?
How do you do, sir?
And my daughter.
Charming.
I trust we have a nice passage.
I hope so, sir. If there's anything we can do for your comfort, just call on us, please.
Thank you very much.
Beg your pardon, Mr. Saxel. I represent the New York Tribune.
All right, what can I do for you?
What would be the gist of your speech before the Reparations Commission in Berlin?
Well, I haven't the slightest idea. Maybe you could help me.
Ah, Mr. Saxel.
Well, suppose I did tell you. All my clever ideas would be broadcast. Then some other clever thief would steal my thunder. No, thank you.
Oh, Mr. Saxel. Mr. Saxel, just a moment, please.
Well, there's one half of Walter Saxel's life. And there comes the better half. Where? That stunning woman in black with the silver fox trimming.
Doesn't look like the dangerous siren, does she?
Not exactly. But wherever Walter Saxel goes, his shadow is sure to follow.
I wonder if Corinne knows.
My dear, hardly. Corinne thinks a mistress is something you read about in a French novel.
Thank you very much. Oh, Mr. Saxel, this way, please.
Now, Mr. Saxel, please, how about one of you and the family for the Victoria Weekly?
Look, Richard. Quick.
Where?
Watch your step, please.
Officer, could you direct me to my stateroom, please?
How did you know?
Richard, a nice girl like me may be blind, but she's not exactly deaf.
Come on, she knows we're staring at her.
I won't budge.
Second companionway on your left.
Thank you.
I'm sick of it, I tell you. We've all been humiliated long enough, and something's got to be done about it.
Who's going to do it?
I am.
Good evening, Miss Schmidt.
Good evening, Mr. Saxel.
Had your dinner?
Yes, thank you.
I'm afraid I won't get to see much of you on this trip, Ray.
Well, that's all right, Walter.
Seems that everyone on this boat knows me.
I understand.
I'll see you in Paris as soon as we arrive at the usual place. There's so many things I want to talk over with you before I go into conference.
All right, Walter.
Have a nice trip.
Here, what's the matter with you? You've been trying to get at that big dog all day. Listen to him bark. If he ever gets hold of you, there'll be no more little doggy. Come on now. Come on, get up here on your chair. You have a nice hot drink all ready for you.
I adore this place. It's only a hotel suite, but you do something to it.
The magical touch of a woman's hand makes even the darkest corner seem grand.
Thanks, idiot. Takes the French to make chocolate, and Ray Schmidt to brew it.
Thank you. Want some gingerbread?
Mm. By the way, where's my speech?
We'll try it here. It's all ready for you. Here it is.
Like it?
I think the best you've ever written, Walter.
You don't say a word about your share, eh?
My share.
Mm-hmm, your share. I know, darling. I used to kid myself that I was doing it all. A very smart young fellow. I know better now.
Oh, Walter, don't be so absurd.
And don't you start an argument either. I'm in no mood to be trifled with.
You wouldn't strike a lady, would you, Mr. Saxel?
Wouldn't I, though?
Paris always brings out the beast in you.
Now sit up and behave yourself. This is no way to relax. No kidding, Ray. You grow lovely with the years. You'll be stunning with white hair. Don't ever tamper with it. I loathe artificiality. Besides, it would never go with you. You're too real and fine. Wish I could take you to Berlin with me.
Would you be gone long, Walter?
About 4 days. I'm flying both ways. Have a good time while I'm gone.
Trust me. I'll hound the casino every night.
Gambler. Remind me to leave you some money before I go, won't you?
Les jeux sont faits. Rien ne va plus. Et c'est le 15. Voir. Après. Faites vos jeux, messieurs. Les jeux sont faits. Rien ne va plus. Rien ne va plus. Les jeux sont faits. Affaire. Rien ne va plus. C'est le 26. Affaire. Départ. Alors, messieurs, faites vos jeux. Faites vos jeux, messieurs. Les jeux sont faits. Rien ne va plus.
Come in.
I don't think we need an introduction, Mrs. Schmidt. I have known about you for years. You followed my father and all of us like a loathsome shadow. Everyone seems to be aware of you except my mother. The chances are she'll know before long. My sister's about to be married into a highly respectable, aristocratic family. If there should be any question about you, Mrs. Schmidt, it would come to my mother's ears. Mother doesn't realize there are such women as you, and I mean to see that she never shall. Get out of our life, Mrs. Schmidt. I'd tear you out if I had my way. I know you're kind, cold-hearted, selfish, and calculating, with only one object in view, to secure yourself at any cost. I shan't ask you to consider my sister or myself. What could children mean to a woman like you?
Oh, please.
I haven't come to argue with you. I've come to warn you. Get out of my father's life. Now, forever. I'll see that you're properly rewarded. After all, money is the thing that counts, isn't it?
Come in.
Hello, Dick. What are you doing here?
I have a right to be here.
I didn't question that, son. I merely asked you what you were doing here.
I came to ask your...
Dick. Sit down, son. I want to talk to you. Please don't go. Sit down, son. Dick, long before you were born, 2 months before I married your mother, I met Ray Schmidt. And for 25 years, we've loved each other. I suppose, Dick, you're still too young to know just how long that is. What I've given her hasn't been taken from my family. It was something they didn't want, and she, for some reason or other, was happy to have. What she's given me, no one else ever offered me. This is a corner of my life that belongs to me alone. You can't get into it, Dick, or force me out. That's all.
Well, what am I supposed to do? Cheer?
You're supposed to understand if you're big enough.
And if I'm not big enough?
Then you're supposed to mind your own business and get out.
I'll get out. But this is my business, and I think you're both contemptible and rotten.
Get out.
Oh, Walter, you shouldn't have spoken to him like that. He's your son.
Of course he is. And I love him more than even you realize. But I'd gladly give up all I have. Life itself. For that little pink nose of yours. Ray. I love you.
I know it.
Don't ever leave me.
I won't, Walter.
We're going to have tomorrow all to ourselves. Would you like that? I'll be over the first thing in the morning. We'll have breakfast together. Oh, Ray, what did Richard say to you?
Not a thing that mattered, Walter. Don't forget, breakfast at 9.
You know I'm always punctual when it comes to one of your breakfasts. Good night, sweetheart.
Good night, Walter. Come in.
Ah, good morning, madame. Il fait un temps superbe aujourd'hui.
Merci. Walter. Oh, my poor darling. Just see the doctor. I'll be back soon.
My son.
I think he wants to talk to you.
Did you want to speak to me, Dad?
Excuse me, Mother. Dad wants to speak to me. Just a minute. What is it, Dad?
Phone.
You want me to get someone on the telephone?
Montparnasse. 6, 7, 5, 3.
Montparnasse, 6753. Please. Hello. Is this Montparnasse 6753?
Yes. Yes.
Hold the phone just a minute, please.
Ray. Ray.
Walter.
Ray. Ray.
Yes, I'm here. I'm listening.
I
can't hear you, dear. What are you trying to say to me?
Dad. Dad!
Nurse! Doctor! Look.
Doctor, quick!
Doctor, what is it?
He's passed on.
Walter! 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 Don't leave me! Don't leave me! Dad. Dad. Come in.
May I come in? I know my father would have wanted me to come. I suppose you know everything. His last thoughts were of you, Mrs. Schmidt. I got you on the telephone. He tried to speak to you, but... Mrs. Schmidt, my father would have wanted you provided for. I know that from something he said to me that night I came here. Of course, there was no mention of you in his will. There couldn't be. Did he make any provision for you? Well, how much did my father... I mean, what was the...
$200.
A week?
A month.
You mean everything?
Everything.
Good heavens. Do you intend to stay here?
I want to go home.
Yes. Yes, of course. Every first of the month, the money will be sent to your New York address. And if you ever need any help, please, call on me.
Walter, your son going to take care of me. He was so nice. He might have been my son. Our son. I wonder, Walter, what would have happened if I'd met your mother that day at Eden Park.
Mother, this is Ray Schmidt.
So you are Ray Schmidt. You are nice. My dear, you're all he said you were. And I hope you both will be very happy.
Shall we go?
I'm coming, Walter. I'm coming.